May I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Your host Superman in the house, and day 2, guys, of the ProveX sacrifice. It has hit $1 million, and it's moving up there. But of course, by Richard's comparisons, it's a very small start. But we've got some news today that he's going to be ramping up the marketing, which is what we talked about yesterday, right? So that's kind of cool. We're going to have a look at that. There's a big competition now at the moment for $15,000 for great marketing ideas. You know, the marketing in the world is pretty complex, so you're always trying to get your best bang for your buck. So that's kind of what's going on there. We're going to be getting into the details of that and see where that's in for day 2. We're obviously going to go through some of Richard's posts that he's just put out today. Has the bird lost its bird seed? We're going to talk about Peacock coming up. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, we're going to talk through that a little bit. Yeah, you just never know whether these people are serious or not. Crazy birds out there. We're going to talk about that, and then we're also going to get into obviously cover the stock market and crypto markets, and see where Pulse Chain is as well. Obviously, we had a bit of a pullback overnight. Bitcoin has gone below 100K. That's a pretty serious development in the lead into our bullish end of the year. So yeah, really testing the hands on that. So we're going to look at a few of those things as well. So I hope you guys enjoy the content. We've got a few new other things coming up as well, which will be pretty interesting. So we're going to get into all that. Let me just pull something up here that I was going to talk about. We're going to talk about that coming up. So I'm going to put that in place. And let me just open up something else here as well quickly, just while we're at it. I had a couple of bookmarks that I was going to talk about. So let me get into that. Bam. Yeah, let's talk about that too. And actually, we're going to do one more thing as well. We're going to get into, let me pull this up as also. We're going to talk about that. So we've got a few things to talk about, guys. So yeah, I think we're all good. But we're going to kick it off at the stock market as always, because we like to stay informed, right? Everyone likes to be informed. Steve writes in the house, there's, like always, Superman, I highlight your positive, uplifting, continuous message that will deliver us to success. Yeah, we're pretty optimistic about that, Steve, so moving forward. So absolutely there. Let me mute the screen for a moment. I'm just got to close the window just a moment. All right, that was a quick intermission break. Yeah, don't forget. By the way, thanks, Steve. Again, don't forget to repost the show on X. That would be really helpful. Appreciate that, guys. So there we go. All right, let's get into it without further ado. Let's kick off with the stock market and see what happened overnight. So we can see the S&P 500 slumps on failing rate cut odds. The odds have fallen. Rotation out of tech. Now we know rate cut odds can move around a lot in leading into the 10th of December. So you know, up and down, up and down. Dow Jones at the moment down 1.65% after yesterday's big update, down almost 800 points. 4,746 is where it's at the moment. If we look at the week chart there, we can kind of see the flow there had been rising quite nicely, but we are down, closed down a little bit there from the top. S&P 500 is down 1.65% as well, the same amount, 113 points. That's down a little bit there too from the top. And then the NASDAQ there down 2.29%, 536 points. That's quite a decent little pullback there with the NASDAQ. And that is down as well. So 22,870. US dollar sitting at 99, a little bit weaker than it has been. And let's go to the commodities. The commodities there over the last week. Well, we've got West Texas there at $58.62. That's up just slightly, 1/5%. Brent oil, $62.89 a barrel. It says it's pretty flat here. I'm not sure what's going on with the stats. Gold at the moment is at $41.74. That is down almost 1% today, $39. And silver is at $52.22, down 2.3% there, $1.20 at the moment. So still pretty elevated though, aren't they? Still pretty elevated there. So December rate cut odds fall. Odds on a December rate cut fell below 50%. We will check that as well for the latest. Following a flurry of Fed speak stoking caution on rate cuts, further rate cuts amid concerns about the lack of economic data owing to the government shutdown, which has just come out after 43 days, record government shutdown. Of course, that is ended, so that's the good news. Boston Fed President Susan Collins, a voting member of the Federal Open Market Committee, said she would be hesitant to ease policy further, especially given the limited information on inflation due to the government shutdown. So hopefully, presumably, we're going to get a whole ton of releases on all that, including AI3 Atlas. Have they still got that image? I think they have. They got the echo similar remarks of Minneapolis. Boy, they make some difficult words. Minneapolis there. Fed President Neil Kashkari, who said the economic outlook is mixed as inflation continues to run higher, and some sectors of the economics, I don't know who wrote this, looks like they are doing great. They need some new editors at investing.com. Honestly, they do tend to not very good writers. We think that it is impossible that Powell is forced into a compromise in which the Fed either stays on hold in December, or if it does cut, it is obligated subsequently to signal that the rate cut cycle may be over. McCrory said in a note. Sorry, I'm a little bit, there's just a few little spelling mistakes and things like that. It's just really off-putting, but you should say off-putting. Remember that joke? And McCrory said in a note. So there we go. So we'll have to get a bit more economic data out there from that. Now, the positive news around the government shutdown, of course, that was signed by Trump, and the Democrats got very little out of that from the looks of it. 43 days shut down. With a bit of luck, we may see job numbers starting early next week. So we'll keep an eye out on that. So that's pretty much it on that. Let's go to the Federal Rate Monitor there, see where the market is at right now. So it has flipped back, guys. So 54.6% is expecting a no change in the interest rate cuts. 45% is now expecting a rate cut. Remember, we'd been up around 58 to 60, sort of 5%. That has moved down now. A great flippening, as it were. January, though, we've got 50% expecting a rate cut. But once again, that could change. So we'll keep an eye on that. That is pretty much it with the stock market. Let's get into the next bit, of course, which is the crypto majors. We'll get to the crypto majors, talk about that. And let's go full screen. So we got total market cap. Boy, it's so small, guys. Oh my God. 3.38 trillion. Oh my gosh, really shrunk, isn't it? Shrunk. Down 3.7%. 3.3. It is still a very tiny market, and yet now, like even at 4.3 trillion, which is where we were up that way, it's still pretty small at 3.3. It's pretty small, pretty crazy. Anyway, what else there? It's like a 10x to gold market cap, right? And we've got to try and flip that at some stage. So anyway, look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at 99,194. It is down 2.3% right now, so below 100K. Very important marker, that 100K, right? We got Ethereum there at the moment is down 5.8% at 3,200. That is where we are right now. And so if you want to pick up some ETH, the ETH narrative is not going away. So we get these dips in the game. Getting $3,200 ETH probably pretty good in hindsight when people look back. XRP at the moment is down 2.7% at $2.31. Number 5 is BNB, down 3.5% at $919. Solana at number 6 is down 6.6% at $143. And then we've got Tron there. Number 8 is down 1.5% at 29 cents. And finally, number 10 there is Doge, down 4.5% at 16.2 cents. Now, if you're wondering why I'm a little bit staccato, because I got the lawnmowers all outside. They're all running in my ear. I can hear the lawnmowers everywhere. It's crazy, guys. So I'm trying to speak while I've got all this noise coming in. It's pretty funny. What happened to the sound booth? That just is the way it is. All right, so that is where we are on those. Looking at the top performer in the last week, in the top 10, I guess it's Tron probably. Yeah, only down 1.5%. Best performer in the last week is XRP, up 3.8%. So at least that's green for the week, so wouldn't be too unhappy. Best performer in the top 100. Well, in the last week it's been Uniswap and World Liberty Financial, Near Protocol, Hash, and then Render, and they're all up 13% to 40% on those ones. Top performers in the 1,000, we've got Bitcoin Hyper, Pre-SP, and Mindblue. They're all up a lot, particularly the Bitcoin Hyper, up a massive percent there from the looks of it. Trending is Bitcoin Hyper, Bitcoin, and Zcash there. So we've got a quick look at Bitcoin Hyper. Apparently, this might have a few issues here on the old Bitcoin Hyper. This is the warning here from GoPulse. I'm not sure whether it's true or not, but it says contractor can make changes to disabling cells, etc. So there might be a few issues with that one. So just take note on BNB. It's on BNB, so probably not surprising. What else there? All right, so that's pretty much it. 3.38 trillion market cap. Bitcoin at 99,100. Ethereum at 3,200. That is the mark right now for the majors. All right, so that was pretty easy. We're going to go to Pulse Chain. Do you want to go to Pulse Chain? I want to go to Pulse Chain. Now, remember yesterday we had a massive 46 million in volume. Remember that? We had a massive 50, I think it was $50,000. Was 55? 50,000. It was over $50,000 in buy and burn for PulseX. It was dramatic. It was pretty awesome. All right, let's see where Pulse Chain is today. Day 916 on the way to 1,000 days. We got Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0231, down 5%, pretty weak, right? Just sitting above our second from the top low. We really wanted to hold 2,700, but of course, ProveX sacrifice came along, and that changed all of that. Now we're sitting at the second higher low, which is at 2,200. We're currently at 2,300, just above it. PulseX right now is at quadruple 0149. Down 5.3%. That is pretty damn low. And where else are we on? We got the buy and burn sitting at 8.08%. So that got an uplift from the buy and burn volume from yesterday, but the volume has tapered off. So those big buy and burns, that was a sort of a special day event. INC at the moment 96.4 cents, so below $1. Ink to $1. We got down 5% on that one, and then of course we've got Hex on Pulse Chain down 7% at just over half a penny, guys, 51/100th of a penny. So if you want to pick up some Hex bags, DCA, and these prices, that's for sure. EHEX right now is at 13/100th of a penny. Combined price at EHEX and PX is at 64/100th of a penny, so it is below 2/3 of a cent on the old Hex combined. Moving to the gas prices, let's have a look at those. 409,000 beats, so not pretty low. Pretty low at the moment. 3 tenths of a penny for a PulseX swap. Moving to the validators, 52,553 validators. Pretty much what we've had the last 4 days, I think, somewhere around that ballpark. So no real change. And the bridge, 87.2 million. That is down about 2 million at least down on value. And of course, EHEX is dragging that down, right? EHEX dragging that down to 13/100th of a penny. Now let's take my snapshot of the stables that we had and see where we were on the 25th of October. So how many days is that? Let's say 5. Let's say 20 days ago. 20 days ago. And we've got EHEX was at 22.9 million. EHEX is now at 13.4. Wow. How the mighty have fallen in 20 days. That's how much value has technically fallen in 20 days. 22.9 million down to 13.4 million. That's crazy. It's almost half, Almost half. Ethereum, there was 6,300. This is the good news. You want the good news? 3,300. We're at 6,300. Now we're at almost 6,400 on ETH. So it's up about 80 ETH. About 80 ETH over that period of time. DAI was 19.9 million, and DAI is now 19 million. So I think we recovered a little bit on that, and so we're only 900,000 below. USDC was 15.4 million. We're now 15.5, so we're up about $88,000 on USDC. And then finally, USD Tether was just below 5.2 million. We're now almost at 5.3, so we're up over just over $100,000 on the USD Tether. So I mean, it's not too bad actually. If you think about the stable coins, that's not too bad. So that also goes into what we understand from CryptoSolve is that a lot of the money that was sold has actually stayed on Pulse Chain, guys. So we haven't seen a lot of it go over to the sacrifice set based on CryptoSolve's analysis. That's pretty interesting there too. Let's pull up Pulse Chain stats. Pulse Chain stats and have a quick look at that and see where we are on the old Statsaroo. Let's see, bridge stats. All right. Let's see where are we at on this one. A drum roll. Do we have a drum roll? It's too late. But it's too late though because it rendered too quick. Anyway, apparently we had 3.23 million daily inflow, and we had 2.4 million daily outflow yesterday. But we're actually up $846,000. So, wow, that's really interesting. That's yeah, look at that. Wow. So USDC hitting the way, winning the way there, followed by ETH and DAI. So counterintuitive, right? Counterintuitive, arguably, but people coming for the dips, but the dips are still there. The dips are kind of still there, aren't they? Yeah, interesting stuff. All right, that is that. Let's jump over to the Pulse Chain volumes. We're at $15.2 million in volume, down from our 46 yesterday. We got 483,000 transactions, and we are going through the trending ones here. Now, we got a new token called Crypto All Stars. Now, I haven't checked any of these. Remember, do your own due diligence. And that has been around for 8 hours, up 2,100%, but it is down 44% over the last hour, and I have not checked it, so just take note. We'll have a quick look at it, but I haven't checked it. It's Crypto All Stars. It looks pretty violent. The chart looks pretty violent. Looks pretty violent there. Let's see if it's got any description there. Ecosystem development, multi-platform, exchange listing, NFT collection launch, staking mechanism, cross-chain bridge development, etc. So lots of promises there, but once again, I haven't checked anything. We're just having a quick bit of a nosy. Crypto All Stars. There we go. It looks pretty crap. The site looks pretty bad. Hey, but bad sites do well sometimes. But like I say, it is what it is. Hey, look, even good sites can be AI sites, right? So it doesn't matter if it's good or bad looking. It can be like that. All right, so Whale Bay there, 8 months, been around for 8 months. It's up 140%. So it looks like a market maker came in on this thing. I don't know much about this one either, but look at that. It's doing pretty well in the hourly. Those are hourly candles, by the way. Looking at the daily, just got the market maker came in and just blew it up with 28K volume there. So it is what it is. Whale Bay there. avoid. P Tiger. So Crypto Tiger God, he's really ramping up his hype, ramping up the hype there on this old token. It's at 2100th of a penny. It's tied into the Peacock too, right? Let's have a look. It's looking pretty good, the chart. So you can't argue against that. Apparently, he says he's got a pretty good, tight group of friends and, working on promotions as well. And he wants this to be successful. He doesn't want this to be a rug pull. He wants it to be strong and true. And so far, it's kind of been doing that, I guess. And keep a lookout for the old Pete Tiger and see where this can go. Currently, market 1.9 million, liquidity 88K. Had a pretty big volume today, 102K. So he's a rising influencer in there, and he likes guns. He shoots guns in the forest, so he shoots his guns in there. But he's out there. He's out there doing his thing, But like J-Lo, no, I'm just kidding. Jenny from the block, remember her. We got Curve there. Curve been around for 7 months, up 5.7%. We got Time Dividend from KG. Now that's up 4% as well, and that's 0.2 of a penny. One of our blue chips, as I would say. You've heard me talking about blue chips on Pulse Chain, right? We need more investable type of blue chip projects on Pulse Chain. Not all these, we're always going to have everything else, right? We always have the memes and the DGNs and the pump and dumps and all the rest of it. But we need at least a good half a dozen of investable projects. I do get disappointed when I see certain behaviors come out from teams that are shaping up to be blue chips, and then suddenly they just drop the ball. That's getting annoying because we do need it. For those that have been with Pulse Chain for year after year after year, we want to see it succeed, right? We want it to succeed, and therefore, people should think twice before being a little bit reckless, and we need good management and things like that. Now, there are plenty of crap projects out on Pulse Chain. People can go and play on those, but we want some good blue chips. It's time. It's time for good blue chips. That's what builds value, regardless of anything Richard Hart's doing or anything else. The big whales, regardless of what the big whales are doing, we need teams that are actually building, really quality projects, and we're looking forward to that, right? So, right, that have upside too, that have upside to them. So that's kind of the play there. We've got 0.2 of a penny right now for time token, and that is, it's performing well. I mean, we've got a little zigzag range, but ultimately it's doing its job, right? Heading towards 100,000 downloads, getting big attention from people like Matt Wallace with 2.3 million followers. It's going well. It's doing X Spaces with, Change Now and Qcoin and places like that. So this is what we like to see, man. This is what we want to see. Really, really cool. Now, people can go off and play on all the other projects that are on Pulse Chain, the other 99%, but we need 1% of the projects to at least be blue chips, so that people can have them more investable and earn incomes through them, right? So Reserve Tay at the moment, number 6, up 3.8%. Number Die there is Pump Tires Die. It's up 3.7% today. Let's have a quick look at that and see where that is at overall. Right at the bottom of the range right now, 0.003,000 right now on the old Pump Tires Die. That narrative is waiting, for a lot of uplift. Potentially, obviously, Better Bank was out there. I don't know how much is on Better Bank right now, actually, in terms of gap. I know it's had a lot of changes with the asset base. I think they're backing up and running fully. And then they've also got Liberty Swaps coming along this weekend, right? So in the next day or two, couple of days, let's say within the next 3 days, they're coming along with PDI bridging, right, with the layer 0, I believe it is. So keep a look out for that. World's greatest PDI printer from OG Webshift, up 3%. Sword Sun and Minimill. Now, Sword Sun and Minimill is another blue chip, right? But these guys are leaving town, apparently. They're going to be leaving. I think they're targeting by the end of the year, going to Solana after all the drama that they did on Pulse Chain with fork and drop and drop. And they have the capability of being a blue chip, a really powerful one, right? But they're going over to Solana from the looks of it. And I do think it's because of Floyn, the discussion with Floyn. And so we'll see. But you can jump over with them. Remember, diversification of blockchain is very important for your portfolio. And that is where they are right now. So who else is in the chat here? We got Sunlight in house there. Hex is the Bitcoin of the Pulse Chain ecosystem, says Sunlight. And we got Sandy Beach says, hey, Superman, everybody. Hey, Sandy. Well, great to see you. Coffee tweeted about Hex being on the sacrifice list. Can you check it out? Thanks. Yeah, hey, look, I'll check that, Sandy, because I didn't see that. So if that's been added, that would be really cool. It was previously not Pulse Chain assets. I have not checked that, so that's cool. Hex is the Bitcoin, says Sunlight. That's from Sunlight. Thanks, Sunlight. All right, so 5.35 cents right now on Solar Sun Minimill. We've got a Troper right now for James Maria is up 1%, and then Bria having a little bit of a comeback there, 1%, sitting at 0.002,500, waiting for Coinwell to launch, right? So we had the initial indications that Coinwell would launch early November. There's obviously been shifted out, probably with the volatility in the market too. And now it looks like probably, second half of November now. So let's have a quick look at the daily there for Bria. Now, Bria's got a very closed community. They need to close that. They need to change that whole thing. They're very closed. They do have one very good promoter, which is Grumpy. But apart from that, they need to do a lot of work there. And maybe Joshua Wu can give them a good kick in the pants. Good kick in the pants to get themselves moving. So that's kind of where we are right there with the old Bria there right now. All right, so that's pretty much it. What else we got going? We got everything else is slightly out of the money, which is basically everything else, right? That's kind of where we are right now. Everything else is pretty much down. The worst of it all is SCADA down 25% from Nuclear Supply, although they're doing a great job with that project. Now we do get obviously pullbacks there. SolidX is down pretty low, and looks like most of the liquidity was pulled out by Firewall, and that's just being left to move along at the moment. So we are waiting for the staking pools there. I don't know if we've heard much from him, but we'll keep open mind and see what whether he's just pulled that out for the volatility that's in the market, the sacrifice progress, and everything else. So we'll keep a lookout for that as well. Right there. What else? We got Sean O'Malley in the house there. Hex is the blue chip, is what I'm saying. Well, we know Richard Hart cores are the blue chips. Sunlight. We know that. So I agree with that. Sean O'Malley in now. Stay strong. All don't fall for the FUD, says Sean. Absolutely, that's right. Macro is on our side. Absolutely, is Sean. Well said. Our time will come. It will indeed, Sean. Pulse Chain, PulseX, ProveX. What's ProveX? Is that something else? ProveX are all servants of X. You mean ProveX? ProveX, yeah. Well, they can be, yeah. Depending. Well, Pulse is kind of the main thing. Pulse is the ocean. So we'll see. But EHEX actually might be moved as well. Sunlight. EHEX has got the small liquidity, so that can be moved on the ETH chain. So a few options there. For the Richard Hart chess player. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. You've got all these down. Peacock's down 1.2 cents after yesterday's rally. We've seen, I haven't been too impressed with some of the posts overnight from Peacock and Liberty Swap. Liberty Swap there overnight. So we'll talk a little bit about that later coming up. We got everything else is pretty much down. I mean, everything, all the ones that are associated. Liberty Swap down, Rich Hart cores are down, Vouch is down, Vouch down 3.6%. Now Vouch is continuing on, of course, adding validators, and this is another blue chip, right? But where the market price is going to be subject to where Pulse is moving around as well. Obviously, Pulse is down at 2,300 right now, holding on. So that's kind of where we are with the markets. Let's go to Rat Pulse. Rat Pulse, have a look at the chart. And so look there. So yeah, liquidity's gone below 4 million too. So it's now at 3.9 million in the main pair. So let's have a look at this chart here. And you can see, it looks pretty bad at the moment. And we're at quadruple 02300 right now. Quadruple 02300. We are above the previous low that we had on the 3rd of June, which was at 2186. But we did touch on that this week. We went below it actually, 2045. So yeah, we're back above it at the moment, 2330. We broke that structure down, right? So that's been destroyed. But let's have a look at the daily on the chart here as well. And that is the chart there at the moment. So yeah, looking a bit like a dog's breakfast. But we'll get out of it. Now we've got the sacrifice step. So now we're getting this almost a sideways channel down the bottom, right? So every so often we would have a move down. We'd have a big capitulation event. So you can see we had 3 major ones. And at the moment we've got this weird structure. We broke out of here. So we're not going to get any big up straight away. Looks like it's just going to be dragged down. We've got the sacrifice set all running through this period here, right? So all the way through there, we've got to sacrifice set there. That being said, doesn't mean we won't get anything happening in December there. That's always possible. But other than that, it's the 10th of January now before we get out of this mode. So there we go. And Sunlight says next year is our year. Hex 6 will be 6 years old in 2026. That's true. And that will be, where we're into the sacrifice set there at the moment. All right, so that is the play on the old Pulse chain. The RSI is down pretty low at 30, 31, 32 on the old daily. So we'll see how we pick up out of there. Can you see the screen? I think you can, yeah. Normally I put it on the big screen for this one, don't I? But that is at the moment. Should we go big screen for a moment? Let's do it. There we go. That's big screen. And that's kind of where we are on the old chart. That is the history of Pulse chain in a picture. One picture says 1,000 words. Well, it says almost 1,000 days, doesn't it? Almost 1,000 days there. Sunlight's going dark today. It's going dark. 666. Thanks for that. We appreciate your contribution today. You get a clap for that. All right. Very nice. All right. So let's move on, guys, and let's get into some of the action here. So we're going to go to ProveX and see where we are at the moment. Let's do a refresh. Now we're still a couple of hours before the end of day 2 based on when Richard sent it. So he sent it at 2:45. It's only 11:40 at the moment. So we're still 3 hours away. So basically we're technically 21 hours into day 2. but we're sitting at 1.116 million, guys. So over $1 million. So that's kind of cool news. Over $1 million there. We've obviously we don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 hours, and we could have a nice, big jump there, but we'll see. But we've basically got all the days here. Was it 3 weeks or so? I think it is through to the 2nd of December. And so you can see the little red line. It's sort of tracking its way through. Let's go big screen on this thing. Everyone loves the big screen. All right, so we're tagging along here, and we've got the red line that's slowly shifting and moving into the future. And so we got that ticking away. 19 days until the rate increase begins, which is this purple line here. And it's going to tick up at 6.25% every day, adding that every day. So it gets pretty expensive. So we start off at $1 for 10,000 base points, and we get up to the end of the volume ranking at $7.40. So you definitely want to get in the first couple of weeks. Now, if we do get a rally in the second half of November for the asset prices, in other words, they bounce back, then you're going to get better bang for your buck, right? So that's all just a what if. But, we are expecting it to lift up into November and December. So see how that goes, see if that probability plays out. And then, of course, we've got the flat period at the end, 75% flat rate at the end, and no volume bonus, right? So that is where we are. Right, so that is ticking away there. We've got 22.339 billion points have been distributed, 2,918 sacrifices so far, and that is the play right now. All right, so let's go down, and we can see the leaderboard right now. So we've still got that $40,000 leader from yesterday. We've got they've got a volume multiplier of 2.96, and then we've got number 2, 34,000, number 3, 34,000. And I think there's a new one in there, right? Because I think that one pushed that one down possibly. But that's 31,778 is number 4. I like the little shields on here. The little shields are kind of cool. Teams could use that little shield idea for something else. That'd be kind of neat. What else? So that's that. Let's go look at the recents. And we've got Ethereum there. Now let's scroll down. Let's go scroll down, and we've got what do we got in terms of acceptable tokens there? Presumably, what was that Sandy Beach said? Sandy Beach said Coffee tweeted about Hex being on the sacrifice list. I don't know if Hex is Hex on the Hex on that list. I'm not sure if it's on that list. Let's see there. We got all those on Ethereum. I don't see Hex on there straight out of the bait. Oh, there is Hex. So there's Hex, guys. So Hex is on there on Ethereum, B39. So you can sacrifice your Hex on Ethereum. So that's really bullish for Ethereum on Hex, EHEX. But EHEX hasn't rallied on that. So that just been added, and therefore only just market's not really, realized that yet. It's got 8 there. So I guess there's been 8 sacrifices. Is it? Yeah. Is it 8? Yeah, looks like it. 8 sacrifices. 1.2 almost. That's only small though, isn't it? Like 2,000, 100,000, 374,000. Well, you're getting a bit starting to get up there a little bit now. 130, 2,000. So a lot of small stuff, but a few sort of okay stuff. 10 million. Now that wasn't there the 10 million that Richard said, you shouldn't have sacrificed that. But hey, look, it's done now. So I'm not sure whether that is the case. So anyway, you might want to double check with Richard on that one or something, or see what Coffee said. I don't know if Coffee's post there. Let me sure we pick up Coffee's post, see exactly what he said. Crypto Coffee. There he goes. Let's have a look. When did he put that out? That's the question. Is it up the top here? So it's the first one here. ProveX sacrifice. He's got a referral link. I don't know why. I don't know where that's from, but only 19 days left to get the best deal. Check see if your favorite coin's accepted. I don't know. When did he put that out? I've been pretty busy today, actually, posting quite a bit. Good on him. That's what it's all about, guys. That's what it's all about. Yeah, don't see it 13th there. Anyway, this is showing up on the list, that's for sure. So it's on the list there. So presumably it is there rather than this. The reason why I say that is, is this picking up what people have sacrificed, or is it picking up tokens that are acceptable? So I think it probably is acceptable there. Let's go to the pulse chain and see what's on the pulse chain side. I don't want to mislead people. You see Sandy Beach because it's not good, not good. Pulse chain there. Let's see what's on here. Is it? I don't know if that has anything on there. It's got the stables and Asta. So it says 2 coins. So it's got stable coins and Asta and BNB and Polygon Skull. I know that's. I thought Hex would be on that too, but it's nothing on Pulse Chain. So there's definitely nothing on Pulse Chain. But it does appear that Hex on Ethereum is there. Hex on Ethereum is there, and we're almost at $1 million from Ethereum alone. So out of that $1.1 million, almost $1 million is from Ethereum, and only just about 120,000 is from other chains. With Solana number 2, 41,000, Base at 35, BSC at 35. So really those are the only those 4. But once you get marketing going, it could all start ramping up pretty quickly. And remember, it is pretty clear that Richard's been targeting non-Pulse Chain community. Generally speaking, obviously Pulse Chain can all get into it, but that is the main one there. Yeah, looks like Sunlight. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about there with all those comments. Sunlight's gone for the crazy comments. All right, so that's kind of where we are right now on the old sacrifice, and we've still got about 3 hours to go to the end of the day. Sunlight, you're spamming in the chat. You're spamming the chat, Sunlight. Can you please stop spamming the chat with all that stuff? All right, where's my mods? Where's my moderators? Sandy, you're a moderator, aren't you, Sandy? All right, so if you can get out there, delete all those posts. Sunlight, you were doing well up to that point, and then you let yourself go. I'm mid-chat, educating the chat dummy. That's not helping your cause. Not helping your cause. Calling those to the shit. Mid-chat, educating the. All right. Right, let's see here. Put user in timeout. Let's do that. User in timeout for 60 seconds. There we go. That's user in timeout for 60 seconds. All right. That's a 60 seconds for calling me dummy. All right, there we go. That's being generous. That's being generous. All right, so what else are we going to be doing now? Let's have a look there. What channel am I on, actually? I'm not really sure. All right, so let's get into the rest of it. That is the sacrifice. So let's get into Richard Hart. Richard Hart's been posting out today. I wanted to go through this post because I think this post is pretty important, right? And that is, the penny. The United States finished production of the penny yesterday, basically. The penny ended production today. The average cost to make a penny rose to 3.69 cents last year. I suggest the Treasury make a mega penny that's worth $1,000. They used to make $1,000 bills back in 1934. They're much more in need today. Now the prices are 24 times higher. Treasury, I'm okay if you print the mega penny on paper if you like. I still like Abe Lincoln on there. So there we go. That's the end of the penny. It's pretty good. It's pretty history, man. Penny was, probably plenty of songs have been made about the penny. Pennies have been used in a lot of country, Western movies. I'm sure, shooting a penny in the sky. The old gunslingers, the fastest gun in the West. So we've got some little pictures there from Richard with the old penny. What's that one there? The old dollar, was it? The old federal note, $1,000. There, United States. Pretty cool. It's funny. American money looks like real money, doesn't it? Looks like real money. All right, so green. So that's from Richard. Thought that was a pretty cool post. I want to go through that. What else have we got here from Richard? I think we coming up here. Let's scroll past all that. I'm not sure why it pushed me all the way back down there, but it did. So we covered that already. Now, 7 hours ago, Richard put this out, $5,000 prize. So if you guys are after prizes, this should be a fairly good one to go for too. Winners selected in 8 hours. If you're putting in millions of dollars into marketing, and we talked about this yesterday, right? That we probably should expect, if Richard wanted this to do well, we'd expected to see marketing targeting non-pulse chain community. Where would you put it? Yes, all your ideas are going to suck. That's a good front leader there. But hey, maybe there's a good one. Probably not though. Lol. Operated by and paid by an anonymous donor. Who is this anonymous donor? Everyone asks. That's a question mark there. Now, Fast Abdul has got in there. He's put his ideas. MBS Crypto, he's put his one there. It costs about $50 to customize a taxi Uber from marketing in Brazil. How about that? That's pretty good from MBS there. Liberty Swap's got their opinion. We're going to talk about Liberty Swap shortly. At this stage of the market, I think we can start our efforts by creating thoughtful AI content at scale and sharing it freely for communities to use and promote. The idea is simple. Everyone has an equal chance to make it on PulseChain. We truly believe that. And when the market trends upwards, a real live person-to-person marketing will be very useful. Can see you have been preparing for that already. So that's from Liberty Swap there. That makes sense. The community sits at around 10,000 active members now, 4,000 to 5,000 showing up consistently on social platforms. I think this is a solid base to start with. So there we go. There's good numbers there. Crypto Coffee says flyers that when folded up look like a wallet with money sticking out. Then when picked up, it's a brochure for the crypto project. I like that one. It's a good one, Coffee. Tam says it was you, your streams, your energy, your rawness, your truth. Oh my God. Woo, the passion. Damn. Now that sold me, sir. You had me at hello. Ching ching. Wish I had some sound effects on that. You had me at hello. I don't know that I'd understand or who you really are at your core or have an unwavering belief I have today. Of course, I trust your judgment, and your safety means more to me than any financial success. So there we go. That is Richard Hart is the best marketing there. What else have we got there? Crypto Coffee says, pay me to jet set around the world to smoosh with the rich. Draft a killer pitch. Go to the pod match or pod chaser defined. So we've got a lot more ideas from Crypto Copy. Burn notice, Pulse Chain daily treasure hunt, and daily puzzles. So we've got lots of people with their ideas there. Jean de Beers there, which is Rack and Michelle's wife and CEO of Coinbound, which is going to be running the Coinwell and everything else from the looks of it. Own the narrative, build the first trust, use founders as the authority, integrate. Run for president, says Maddie. Mr. Owner Zekia there. Your edge was never ads, it was cultural disruption. If you're spending millions, engineer moments that make the entire industry talk again. Shockwave scale, marketing doesn't. How about that? That's a good one there from Mr. O. So lots of people putting in their ideas there. So check that out. There's lots of cool things happening there. All right, so get your entries in, $5,000, guys, to participate in that. I'll post that link in the chat there in case you guys want to participate. 5,000. Okay, marketing comp. Now, if you guys are on X course, you can just jump over to Richard Hart and check that out. We've got Paul O'Shea in the house there. Hey, great to see you, Paul. Hello. And that is the link there to the 5K giveaway competition there from Richard Hart, which is kind of cool. All right, what else we got going? Yeah, that's that. Let's jump up here a little bit more. Richard Hart. So 8 hours ago, said web design competition as well. So another competition, $15,000. Web design competition. ProveX site's not up yet. The website winner chosen in 24 hours by entering and winning. So this will be the technology website, no doubt. By entering and winning, you assign all rights to the anonymous donor, and that's to do a website design. So that's up to 15K. So you can get to that too. Let me write that in the chat as well. 15K website design. So you might want to read the rest of the post. I just sort of quickly putting it out there for you guys in case you want to participate. I know many of you might have skills that you could use. A very particular set of skills, as they say. A very particular set of skills. There we go. All right, so that's kind of cool. Pro tip for contestants, website templates that you can license are often better than what you can make on your own. You don't have to be a good designer to recognize greatness. Feel free to use fonts.google font if it's easier to find than Evernear. Evernear there. It's got web design tips there. on you shouldn't be using gradients, etc. So you can check that out. My guess is it's probably better to brand the tech ProveTech instead of private ProveTech. I would agree with that. So I think a nice little name change there too. Kind of cool. So got a few people there responding to that. So you can check that out. That is 15K up for grabs. Another prizes there. Now, 2 hours ago, he said ProveX.com is the official ProveX.com. So if you want to join, follow on X, obviously Telegram was set up yesterday. You can go join Telegram. Fast Abdul and people like that are moderating that. ProveX.com is a handle on X, is the official X handle for ProveX. If you want to find the socials there, there's 1,000 people on that already. I think there's over 5,000 people on the Telegram. There's 1,000 people here on X already. X account, please do not fall for imposters. Damn you imposters. But that is there as well. So yeah, that's the official ProveX.info sites. They're different sites. So there's another site there, info site there from Richard. What else have we got there? I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. Now, a big shout out to Just Mike Memes, doing some great memes these days with the old ProveX. He's absolutely loving it, crushing it. So big shout out there to Mike. Just Ask Mike. All right, so that is that's the stuff from Richard. I think that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's jump over to Renato here. So there's been a little bit of drama. We know I know drama channels. You guys know we like just to stick to the numbers and the trying to be rational and all the rest of it. But hey, Richard Hart, what's about Morbius and Vitals? By reviewing the ProveX web code, you can find references to another sacrifice. Interesting. Now, people have talked about there being other sacrifices following the sacrifice. Yes, if you weren't aware of that, there's definitely been on the cards potentially for other projects, right? Other projects that Richard might be launching. By reviewing the ProveX web code, you can find reference to another sacrifice. Now, obviously, this could also mean he was considering other names, all sorts of things, but all possibilities. Vital site there, staging.vitals.cache, and stack there, stagingmorbius.cache. So there were a couple sites there. The reference in the first comments, and you can actually see, the Morbius example there, Morbius cache. So I'm not sure whether that was an existing one or something that he was looking to set up, but did have some little bit of basic numbers in there. Thought that was pretty interesting. Also had the code in there too, right? The code there, Morbius had all the links in the preview there on the code. So there we go. Fairly easy to find. And he said, yeah, update. I think I accidentally leaked the upcoming ProveX website. So RH blocked me and deleted my posts. Guess I'll have to change the template now, or would me 15K. Well, yeah. Detectives, they can get punished. They get punished detectives out there. I thought that was kind of interesting. So I thought we'd talk about that briefly on that one. So if you hadn't seen that, that was kind of interesting. We got Thomas in the house there. Turtles Unite, says Thomas. Right. And so let's jump away from that. It was pretty interesting. One of the other things that's been happening on Pulse Chain is Zero, which is tied into Peacock. Zero's got a movie coming out. So if you're like them marketing them, Zero.movie is one of many things we're doing. But yeah, we're making an anime cinematic epic. So obviously we have we have the Heart with the Dog with the Pulse of the Fallen series. Now it looks like we're going to have an anime cinematic epic coming from Zero. This is Pulse Chain's story, which is still being written, absolutely told in the most awesome way, and it will appeal to everyone because it's a genius. And that is the story coming up there. So, a lot of people are keen about that. We've got Verita in there, the future of cinema begins. And I got a website. So, if we have a look at the website, Zero.movie is the website. And let's see, the Great Chain Exodus. No war, no protest, just the end of control. Coming summer 2026. They got some cool characters. Very cool. The first cinematic legendary force with forged from crypto itself, world where creation outgrows control. So that is coming out from them, from Zero there. I thought we'd just highlight on that quickly. Now, the next one we want to talk about is Liberty Swap. Now, Liberty Swap put out some pretty dramatic stuff overnight, so we're going to talk about that. We've got D1 in the house there. G'day, sirs. Good to see you, D1. Welcome to the chat. Did I miss any other comments? I think so. No, we've got Paul O'Shea in the house, so it's good to see Paul. All right, so let's jump into the announcements now. I just don't know where they're heading with this. I mean, they've been doing so well up to this point. I just don't know what to say about this really. I mean, there's so many things can be said. Um, so we'll start from the bottom. We've start here. So we start off pretty well for the day. Another good day start for Liberty Swap. They said, "Good morning. Fees came in overnight, and I started the day by boosting the Peacock LP with more pulse. Circulating supply and LPs look healthier by the day. Peacock is guiding pulse chain back towards strength. Increases 36%. Numbers are good. Now that's what we want to hear. That is what we want to hear. That's what we like. A strong blue chip protocol in the making, scaling up probably the greatest ecosystem potentially on Pulse Chain, right? So that's what we like to see. We like that. That's what we like. So we started well. With the day. And then, we'll move past that post. Then we saw another good post coming out 6 hours after that. Pump tires coins are driving the market rebound and climbing strong. The strength is real. It's a full group of pump tire coins lifting together, not just one. Pulse chain attention will follow the energy, the cycle, adapt and position well. So we agree with all that. That is very, very good. And we saw a nice little uplift there. All right, so that was kind of cool. And of course, a lot of pump tires, not all of them, but quite a few of them, and other projects are tied into the Liberty Swap LP pools, right? There's well over 200, I think 215 pools. Of course, they talked about the Zero movie, which was kind of cool. We got Verita there talking about that too. Then they put out, this post around sacrificing. So that is the 29% per month, or about 2,000%. So this is all theoretical, right? It's all theoretical stuff. So they're basically talking about sacking some of their bird position that they have, getting stable coins, sacking stable coins for a ProveX bag, and then let ProveX follow this curve for 3 years and basically make mad gains of about 2,000% per year, or 29% per month. That's basically the idea there, assuming a lot of assumptions there. So that's kind of where they started off, and I think that they should make a ProveX sacrifice of some form. I think, and it's something of significance, but it needs to be proportional to their overall value story, their overall narrative of what they're trying to achieve. And at the moment, they've got a beautiful November roadmap. They've got a December roadmap coming up, which is going to be just as good. It's going to be very, very cool. So they're really doing really well there, and they're following their plan, right? They're doing capital efficiency, maximization, optimization, whatever you want to call it. They are also ramping up their product offering, and therefore their earnings and their fees are ramping up. They're building up liquidity in the pools, which is great. And they're also looking at marketing, coin-based listing, coin market cap listing, all that sort of stuff. And towards the end of the year, they've got Railgun. End of November, they've got Railgun, which is going to be very, very, I think, popular, as well as earning fees, right? So that could be huge, right? Really, really popular. I think, everyone wants a Railgun to be operating. There is already a Railgun contract on Pulse Chain. I don't believe it's operating though, and these guys will bring a fresh contract, all operating and earning fees, and pumping the Peacock there. So that all works. That all makes sense. So that's kind of where we are. But then they started talking about the sacrifice. They started, posting all the stuff. Now, one might argue, let's be on one side of the coin. Let's put one argument on one side. One side says, well, you could make $10 billion on the top end, but of course, there's never the cash exit for that sort of stuff, right? Even if ProveX does extremely well, you're not going to have a $10 billion cash exit, right? So that just makes no sense. So 10,000x, just not going to happen. Not going to happen, right? And so that is, you got to be careful with the carrot, right? The carrot, you got to be, what can you get out there, So there were some criticisms pushed back on a lot of the math. The math's fantastic, but reality and math are two different things, right? What actually happens versus what theoretically could happen with certain assumptions, right? And so someone made a very good, reasonable point here, which is, raging Maga Cup there. And that was, and then so Peacock sort of modified, said, why don't we just get out at 100x then? Which I think that's the actual play. I think there'd be a much better play doing that. Right. So I think, if they're looking at doing investment diversification, which I'm, completely for, I support those sort of parts of strategy. You need to just be realistic about it. You need to be proportional about it. You need to have a good exit plan about it. And you shouldn't be, even though you put up huge maths of $10 billion, you shouldn't be deluded about being able to achieve that, right? So you actually need to have realistic goals and do realistic investments relative to where your roadmap is and the value of what you're doing, right? Because what you're doing is already valuable. So you can't be too greedy. You got to be pragmatic. You got to do the numbers right, and that just be one aspect of what LibertySwap is doing. So that's very important there. So this is some stuff they had. And so yeah, they had they had this bit of a shakeout thing, right? So it was like, what are we gonna do with the shakeout? If you shake out people, well, you're gonna get this new shakeout people to come in, right? You can't necessarily time the bottom if you're selling for the capital. So that was part of the stuff there. Now this is what they've just put out 17 minutes ago. So this is the latest thing here. They go, crap, stop selling Peacock. I was only asking for opinions. You're making me panic. Anyway, we will follow whatever the community decides. Use our our fees to sack for ProveX. Sell $1 million of Peacock to sack, which is a terrible idea, guys. It's a terrible idea. Keep buyback, no sack. Keep buyback, no sack there, and keep buying back. So these this middle one's just a disaster. That's just a ridiculous idea. I mean, that one is just absolutely ridiculous. Use fee to sack. I think that's probably reasonable. Keep buyback for buyback no sack. Now I think for a period of time they could do the fee, do the fee in there. So that's probably the one I would pick. And keep buyback no sack is what the majority, which I'm kind of happy to see. And this one in the middle is a disaster. That there is just a bad idea. Now I just don't really like the way they've come out with this. Peacock LibertySwap has been so good up to this point. I really just don't think this is the way they should have gone about all this. It really is not great. So we'll see what happens with the old market there, and hopefully they're going to continue on with their roadmap. And the roadmap, of course, is to what do you say? Is to roll out the ETH pairs this weekend, and on the 15th, and also PDI pairs. So that's going to expand their product offering and revenue, and that's probably going to be quite dramatic, particularly with the ETH pairs. I think on the community side, I think PDI was a good move too. That's one of the biggest communities on Pulse Chain, so that makes a lot of sense. And potentially people talking about arbitrage between the two, parity and things like that. So we'll see what happens with that though. On another chain, certainly strengthens the PDI narrative. And so yeah, that's kind of where we are with that. So yeah, I just wish they had thought a little bit more. They've been very good up to this point, and I just thought they could have thought through this a lot better. And it looks like they just got a bit of a euphoria on the math. They got a phone call yesterday. A good idea. I just wish they had just thought a little bit more about it before coming out to the market like that. What else there? Wookie in the house there. Got to love the old move math. Yeah. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah, there's a couple other posts that they wrote too that weren't very well thought through in terms of logic, and I don't want to go through all of it. It's just all it is what it is. But good day, sirs. I love that. I love it. Good to have D1 in the house. All right, so that is that's kind of that. We're wanting to have more blue chips in Pulse Chain, right? And we need people to manage their projects accordingly, right? To really build up that confidence and momentum. And the way I would have gone about it is say, hey, look, we think we should take some of the fees, and that's the second, one of the options there. The option they use our fee for SAC Prove. And I think that's kind of the way they should have gone about it, right? They should say, hey, look, we're going to, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to accumulate fees, and we're going to sack before the sack day on the base day. That would make sense. But this $1 million Peacock idea, yeah, I get it's a big amount of money, but it's just dumping out the LP. All the LP work that they've done, just dumping it out, and then you get a whole ton of new people in. It just destroys the chart, right? It's just a bad idea. And then have no idea who's coming in after that. It is just a bad idea. And then keep buyback, no sack. Keep buyback, no sack. There's the majority of the market. I'm glad to see the market gone that way. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Now I do see them, doing a little bit of fees for a few weeks there, putting I don't know how much money that will end up being, but tens of thousands of dollars. Maybe that might be a good little play for a short couple of week option before the 21-day period moves out. which we've got 19 days left. So that would have been kind of cool. So we'll see what the community has spoken. But I just think they could have thought through that a lot better there. All right. We don't need a team getting caught up with euphoria. We just need a team that's managing pretty rational there. All right. So we'll see how that plays out. All right. But I'm glad to see where it's heading there with the, so far with the votes. It's got 23 hours left. So hopefully it ends up in the right place. All right. What else? So that is all the stuff happening there with Liberty Swap. For the time being, let's have a quick look at the ProveX sacrifice. How we're doing for time, an hour. So yeah, we're at 1.1 million right now. We're coming in to 2.5 hours left to go until the end of day 2 by the since Richard published it. So that's kind of where we are. We are on day 2 in terms of the actual sacrifice process. And it says, was it 12 hours? Just counting up here halfway through day 2, over halfway, 12 hours. And so on. So yeah, 19 days left to go until the rate increases. So this is where all the there's a bit of pressure here on Pulse Chain during this whole time, and then at the end there'll be probably a bit of volatility there, quite a bit of volatility on the last day, particularly in the last couple of hours, right? Maybe the last 12 hours. When we've got this, this pressure here. This is on the 2nd of December, so I reasonably expect the beginning of December to have a bit of volatility there. Now, I wouldn't expect Coinwell to launch on this day, so presumably we'll see when the Coinwell's going to delay their launch into December. I really feel like Coinwell probably will at this stage, given Rick and Michelle. I'll be surprised if we do get a launch in November, but maybe we will. I mean, it's always possible. I'm not the team. But maybe we'll get it after this phase is ended into early December then instead for Coinwell. Coinwell is the last of the big projects to launch, and so yeah, we'll look forward to that. That's potentially it could be the big one. He's certainly got all the capability, all the potential to do that. Rick and Michelle. So we'll keep a lookout for that, and that could have a manifest impact as well, especially if he is accessing and driving, the client base. The client base is the key part there. It's just like if you're an investment bank, you've got thousands, tens of thousands of clients. Well, in his case, you just have to have a network book. So we'll see how that goes. FN Base says, what is Coinwell? Well, Coinwell is essentially a DeFi ecosystem, so it's going to have multiple products in it. One of them will be a liquidity fork stablecoin. It's going to have DEX in it and things like that. So, but I don't know the full range of offerings in it, but it's those that will be there for sure. Triple Dad is kind of like the operating officer, and I think a junior founder for it. And then we got Rick and Michelle in there as well. I think Joshua Wu is doing promotions, I think, for it. He's also doing, there's another site, was it Pirate Memes or something like that that's coming out, which I think was Coinaki. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a lay of the land out when they come close to the launch. Sean O'Malley says, hey Superman, can we get a Unity update? Oh, that's a good point. Unity there, it's flipping over to day 89, isn't it? So let's do that. That's a good idea. We've got a little bit of time too. All right, so that is the play right now. Let's go to Unity. Unity. Got to have some Unity on Pulse Chain. Some Unity on Pulse Chain. Well, we're at 9 cents at the moment for Unity price, and we're on day 88, guys. So you guys know. Thanks for that, Sean. That was really good. So day 89 is coming out, and that's when we've got the first big creations coming out, right? So let's have a quick look at the stats at the moment. So day 88, we're sitting on 52% on the creating ROI. We're on staking. We're at 1,346. So people are very much encouraged to stake. So that's the play. The buy and burn. The buy and burn right now, we've got 130,000. And so it's $1,300 a day at 1%. Is it at 1%? What's it at the moment? Cap. Where's the percentage here? So at 1%. So we got $1,300 a day on the buy and burn. The buy and build is sitting, what's that, 90, over 100,000, 105,000. So that's $1,000 a day at 1%, building out liquidity. So it's building liquidity. So you got $2,300 actively working at the moment. The fractal, of course, will get called on day 110. So we're on day 88. So that's still another 22 days away. They're coming up. And then the stats there. Let's have a look at the stats. We got $8,254 in today's reward pool at the current price of Unity, which is 9 cents. Unity Liquid, that's what we're really looking for. That's jumped quite a bit from yesterday, not surprising. But we're at, I think it was about 167, if I remember, somewhere in that ballpark. It's 210 right now, if I remember rightly. So there we go, 8.5%. Now the staked amount is 350,000. So that's actually pretty good. I think 30%. How does that compare to Taurus? Let's go to look at Taurus. Taurus is 39 days ahead, right, in terms of the protocol, and there's been different adoption rates, so you got to take that into account as well. But let's have a look at the Taurus by comparison. They're at 33% too. So actually, that's pretty interesting that's pretty similar. 31%, which is actually lower, and 33% here as well. But remember, there's 2.7 million tokens in here. It's already well advanced with the rewards or inflation that's come out. I had a little debate with somebody in the Taurus, I think it was, around rewards and inflation, but they didn't understand what I was saying. And I have got, I won't talk about that. But the inflation does make an impact, and we're talking about volume inflation, not price inflation. That's really the key bit there. So we've at 31% there, and we're at 33% here at the moment. So we're going to have a lot more volume coming out from now on, right? With the day 89 coming out, we'll check that out. How much is liquid? So we've got 35% is liquid, 2.9 million tokens. So this is the question. This is designed for staking, and we're seeing 35% of the coins are saying, no, I'm not staking. I'm just sitting liquid. They can't sell them because they're probably at break even. Now people can sell below cost, but you'll get a few people do that. But generally, most people just sit on the tokens waiting for price appreciation, right? And let the burn operate, etc. So that's kind of where we are right now. Let me just jump over to. Let me just scroll down there. Let me. What am I going to? I'm going to do something. What am I doing? 35%. I was going to do something. Where was I going? 2.9 million. That's right. I'm going to staking. Yeah, that's what I was doing. We're going to staking, and we can see 194% is the ROI right now. So at the moment, we've got 33% of the market not willing to go for a 200% ROI. So they're getting diluted. While they're not doing that, they're getting diluted. They do have to pay a 5% premium to stake, remember? So that may be inhibitive. Haven't looked at, we'll see what that is. But at the moment, that's what 35% of the market is just sitting there liquid. We got 70% burned, and we got 15% in the LP. So it's kind of interesting for Taurus. So that is 39 days ahead. They're on day 127. But here we're on day 88, and we're about to go through the big day, right? At the end of the day, another 18 plus hours. We'll get to that big, where everyone will get that big inflation jump, right? So that's coming out. So these numbers will change dramatically. What else are we going to say about this? We've got the total. What am I looking at? The total shares, was it? Yeah, total shares 4.67 billion. That's going to change dramatically too. So when we get a lot of the tokens coming out, the shares are going to come out too. And then it's like if they go back and stake, then they'll get more shares, but at a lower rate, right? Because the rates for shares are lower as you move forward in time. Let's have a look at the analytics dashboard and see what that's telling us. So we can see that this big candle here on the linear chart has got 2.3 million tokens coming out in about 18 hours or so. Like they come out over the day, but they're coming out on day 89. So that's what's coming up. And currently we're on this day here, day 88. So relatively low. And then that's coming up. So that's where we are now. Yesterday we had 181,000 plus a little bit of stakes. So that's what's coming out. So that's about to, we're going to see what happens. Then the next day we got 500,000. We've got at least 4 days after that with 500,000 tokens on most days for the next 5 days. The next 5 days is the real key part there. Looking at the log scale, that's what it looks like on the log scale there. So we've got pretty big numbers there coming out. Then we flip over, right? We flip over once we get to day 118. So that's when we flip over. But let's go back to linear because it's kind of easy to demonstrate. So day 110 is phase 3, right? So I always talk about phase 1 is up to day where we are now. So we're at the last day of phase 1. And then we've got phase 2 starting, day 89. That will go all the way through to day 109. Is that what I say? 109, phase 3. sorry, no, phase one was all the way just up to date, like day 34 with the first inflation, I think. And phase two ends now, and then phase three begins. And then we get day 110 coming out. That's what I was saying. 110, which is when the fractal goes and gets swapped into the buy and burn and boosts that, right? And that's day 110, and that's when we move into the phase four. Phase four is basically just business as usual. But it's not really business as usual because we do get all the staking then, right? We flip over from load creating to staking, and this may flip back and forward in the future, right? So we might have different ways, but definitely this is probably the most bullish time in here. See this part here between let's say day 100, but probably particularly after day 110, after that fractal comes out, fractal all the way through to day from day 110, probably all the way through to how much is coming up there. Maybe through to day 134. So maybe 24 days of potentially that the price could move up quite nicely with very little volume coming out. I mean, there's still quite a few coins, but there has a chance to move up there, and we'll see on that one. Now, the other big thing, of course, is coming out is well, I didn't look at Taurus, but you can check that out. But is that there's another protocol coming, right? That's that the cryptographics talked about. So we'll look forward to that too. So yeah, that staking mechanism, that flipping between creating and staking is very powerful as we move forward in time, plus the 5% fee. So we're going to keep a lookout for that and the big protocol that's coming up. So yeah, and it's probably best also to go check out cryptographics stuff for his insights on his own protocol. All right, so that is update there. So thanks for that, Sean. That was really good. It was really good. Glad because we'll try and remind me tomorrow if I forget to see what day 89 looks like once it comes out. That's kind of the play there. Anyway, we'll wrap up with a final update for ProveX. Day 2 is coming up in the ending, and we're only 2 hours and a quarter away from the final update for day 2. We'll probably get a little jump at the end, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Day 1 we had the quite a decent little jump. Maybe day 2 we won't get it. It's business as usual for a while. We'll see. So yeah, 1.1 million, 22.3 billion points to 2,928 sacrifices. That's kind of the main one there. And top one, 40K, 34K, 34K. And Ethereum is dominating, right? Ethereum is 990,000 out of 1.1 million. So only 120,000 is split across Base, Solana, Base, BSC, and Arbitrum, and all the rest of them. Marketing is coming. Richard Hart is going to do a live stream. So we could see a pretty big increase in the sacrifice values, but he is really targeting non-pulse chain people. And we know that there is a lot of sentiment, pulse chains down quite low, that a lot of people are not really that keen. But we will always see, if marketing ramps up, Richard comes out, that we'll see probably a decent chunk of the market change their mind. And so we'll see whether the volatility continues to increase there or not on the chain. The quicker that he streams, the more likely that's to happen, right? So yeah, and if he's talking about millions of dollars to spend, well, he's only got so many times, right? Because it's 21 days for the launch, right? So we're already got 19 days away. So you've got to have a pretty effective online marketing strategy to get up and running at least for 2 weeks. So you've only got really a week, kind of set it up and then kick it into gear, right? I'm sure he must have some things already preset for that, surely. And then of course live streaming as well. And then, of course, we have seen 3 or 4 of the influencers pretty upset out there, which is fair enough. I have nothing against that at all. It's been a long time, charts down, all the rest of it. But I think they should make sure that they're reading Richard Hart's posts really well, because easily to get the wrong impression. But I think Richard's on if even if it takes 2 or 3 times to read it, on reflection you kind of get okay, see what this guy's doing. That sort of thing. But certainly after a live stream, those people will kind of see his plan. But yeah, we got that little sneak peek there of some of those other websites. I thought it was kind of interesting. So yeah. Now I think there was another post by, I think it was Dirty Crypto or Shellgates. I can't remember which one it was. Let me go find it and see where I can find it, because there was actually another good little post on that. I just can't remember who it was that was putting that out. So maybe it was Dirty Crypto. No, Shillgates. Maybe it was Shillgates that put that out. Let's have a look. See whether he put out this post. No, I'm not sure if it was Shillgates there. Maybe it wasn't Shillgates. Maybe it was Dirty Crypto. Yeah, Shillgates is not a big fan, so he's not a big fan of the sacrifice. Dirty, was it Dirty Crypto? Dirty Crypto, yeah. So these two are two of the more consistent ex-influencers on Pulse Chain. And so, they garner quite a bit of attention in the market. So let me just jump past that. I thought he put out something here. Oh yeah, this is the post. I'm not sure what to make much of this, but we'll have a quick look at it. Quick look at it. So you guys let me know what you think. We got SMO Spider and us there, 100, 100, 100. Awesome. What else there? We got Automatorka announced that Hexkin's building a massive freedom community. Repost the stream. I appreciate that, Automatorka. I hope I said your name correctly. With respect. With respect. Peace out. All right, Pulse Chain says Dirty Crypto. Our speculation was correct in terms of the future ProveX site. Some interesting things we found include domain registered in 2002, updated 5 days ago. Name Park Taiwan. Park Taiwan. Backward variation. Now eat crap. So he always likes his conspiracy theory. He mixes in a bit of factual stuff and conspiracy theories and comedy together. He's kind of does a bit of everything. And he's a PDI guy. PDI to $1. To $1. PDI to $1. We got that in the play right now. So yeah. I'm not sure what much to make of that, but that's what he had up. Design competition there. Yeah, I know. I saw this interesting stuff. Perhaps a new SAC or testing. Yeah, so that's that is the way I saw it too. So I'll give that a like, shall we? So yeah, that's pretty much it on that one. On the old, let's see if Richard Hart's got anything else before we wrap up. And let's see here. What else there? 8 hours. Yeah, we just got the prize in there at the moment. Nothing much happening there. Let's see if Liberty Swap's got any final things before we wrap up as well. Crypto Coffee, of course, been doing good coverage as well. What else we got there? What else have we got there? Just asking for opinion of the community because the best window to get a good rate is ProveX is closing. With the new strategy, I think we can raise the target to $400 as a conservative deficit. I'm not sure what he 400. I'm not sure what he means. $400,000. I'm not sure what he means there. I know a great person who has sacrificed twice and taken profit successfully for more than 2 years. Here at community, we might have our savior. Should we donate 10 million Peacock to him and ask for his advice? He might guide us forward. Not sure what they mean by that either. It's me dropping wallet and DM sent. Please use V3. All right, so yeah, that is kind of where we are right now on that. So that's pretty much it on the old Liberty Swap. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. We've covered quite a bit there, I think, today. 2600 HX in house there, X2 Live. Thanks for that, appreciate that. X2 Live, I reposted the stream. Thanks very much again. We're getting a lot of shills in the house. You guys are shilling me from different angles. Shill Fest. I think they're on Superman Crypto, to be honest. All right, so all right. Where's my mods? All right, so let me jump over there. Let's quickly. All right, we're about to finish. We're just going to do some. We're going to be doing some surgery there. Actually, it's not even on that channel. What channel is it on? It's not on this one, is it? Let's switch, guys. I think it's over here. Yeah. Now, a big shout out to Pulse Chain X because it's been really growing well over there on YouTube. So a big shout out to the community over there, all the new subscribers. Appreciate it. Don't forget to share the channel around as well on Pulse Chain X. We are streaming to 3 YouTube channels, right? So yeah, FN Based is actually watching on Pulse Chain X. So big shout out there, FN Based. Very cool. I'm not sure where that. Maybe they got cancelled. Who would thought that I'm doing my own moderating? A little cleanup, yeah. Who would think that I'm doing my own moderating on the channel? That's because all the mods are off to play golf and do other things. That's fair enough. I mean, they got their own things to do. I don't even know. I don't even see. It's funny they're showing up in the feed, but they're not showing up. Maybe they're getting auto shut down. A little cleanup, Loz says SMO. Yeah. Just a couple of spammers. It's easy to get tricked out by that in the chats. All right, so I think we're going to wrap up there now in 20 minutes. What do you think, guys? Was that good? I think it was good. ProveX is ticking along there. Richard Hart's going to stream. Marketing is coming for non-pulse stream. So it's going to be bullish. That strategy seems a lot more clearer to people. We'll keep track of it every day and see how we go. There's going to be definitely some FOMO on that 2nd of December, that last day. And then, we'll see how much people will do after that. I will replace this SMO. I appreciate that. All right, we're up to now in 20 minutes. Good time to finish. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Sometimes I might do a surprise second stream. I could do one today. Just never know. But other than that, take care, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. And if you haven't gone join Strategy Club, links in the video description on YouTube and pinned to the top of X. Only $35 a day. $35 a month, I should say. Really good value, and it's just over $1 a day. That's the way it is. Sean O'Malley with the Peacock, and we got DJ Hexkin with the 5555. Lots of love there for the old Hex Maxi Stakes. Absolutely. 15.2 years of glorious yield earning. Well, it was cut back to 1.6, 1.8, but it used to be pretty amazing at 7.5. Pretty simple. All right, take care, everybody, and I'll catch you then. Bye for now.